Hello, my name is Jamie Hayes. Thank you so much for entering the San Antonio Image Critique. I believe this is a monthly or quarterly for you guys. Um, love the title of this and the story and the mood, Cycle of Life. I totally get the story connection between the main subject and the secondary subject in the background. Now, let's talk about it. And my score would probably be about a 75, 76 on this in the above average or average, high average, low above average. First and foremost, there's no presentation, no matte, no stroke, no anything. And if you're going to enter a PPA affiliate or a that type, according to the current rules, majority of images do better with some sort of presentation, a stroke, a matte, a something around them to set them off as if you would see them in a museum. Not every image has to have that, but the image has to be remarkably strong and pretty much have all of the other 12 elements checked off for presentation not to play a factor into that role. Um, for me, my main areas of concern are white balance. This is obviously natural light, so there has a blue overall cast and tint from the light that's probably coming through those windows. Once I get up in the back left-hand corner, all of this area has been brought down way too much and burned down. Also, maybe some little specks or something in here on the window that would probably be benefit by cleaning those up a little bit. The main thing for me though is composition. This is photographed so tight, we're cropping into the woman's head. I don't see enough of her body, this little boy's arm, and then we have this window or door here this image was photographed through. Had you taken one step to the left, probably and or changed your distance to the subject and or the focal length of the lens with a zoom lens or something possibly, you would have been able to include a little bit more too. This orange pumpkin on the child's shirt too, I would have totally removed that. It pulls my eye because it's the same, it's a brighter intense color than even the bread or the faces. So my eye immediately goes to this before I really get into here. This area is kind of bright too, and I don't see enough of the woman's hand. Uh, and also, her connection, she's staring off into space. She's not really paying attention to him. Um, it, it it would have been more engaging if you would have, had time possibly to pause a little bit and get the photograph where she's leaning around more, making sure he's eating or her eyes are engaged with him. Because right now the two subjects are disconnected by the storyline as far as emotionally connected together in this type of subject matter. Now, also, her hand here is blocking her other hand in the bread. This is hotter from the light coming back in. The little boy would have benefited from a little bit of skin cleanup and a little bit of stray hair removal. Even though this is more of a photojournalist or documentary or reportage type of image, it still needs to have a lot of good technical elements of being a great image in order to succeed in image competition. Eyes worked up a little bit of detail, maybe brought out some structure and texture throughout this entire image. I'm also losing a lot of detail through all the blacks here, and that's what you normally get in natural light photography or using reflector. The only time where you really don't have to worry about blocked up shadows would be when you use some sort of a fill light on or similar to camera position, just to pop a little bit to open up those shadows and open up all that texture in there. Um, Now, if you have other images possibly that you photograph with a wider perspective, those might be a great possibility in order to be entered for competition. But I don't think unfortunately, I don't believe there's enough that you can do to this photograph technically in order to bring it up into that merit category. However, the next time you're in an environment such as this, with this type of subject matter, vary your focal length of your lens, shoot with wide angle lenses, close-up lenses, shoot a variety of stuff really fast with a motor drive so you get lots of great detail. Maybe pop in a little flash from the camera position or off camera position just to pick up a little bit of detail throughout all those areas. I think would improve this a lot. And then when you get it back in post, and be careful of cutting off elements too of people. Sometimes you can get away with it and it's really great, but as a majority of the whole, especially in an image like this where the environment and the surrounding that this child and this um, um, nun, I would assume, is in pretty much tells the story to this and would have helped I think the whole entire storyline for those to be included. So that's something that you may want to take in consideration. And then when you get it back into post, let's work on our skills on white balance a little bit, as well as bringing out texture, detail, retouching, and especially this dodging and burning. It's really heavy-handed. It's not bad in this window, although it does start to pick up a little bit of the grunge in here, which I would take like that spot, for instance, away. But be careful of this burning around, because what you get is this little haloing effect, which is unnatural, and that's what you don't want when you're going for a very natural available light and naturally captured moment, is that you don't want to overdo it um, with a heavy-handed burn in or a heavy-handed Photoshop technique. All of those skills need to be really, really good, and you don't need to do those skills yourself in order to image competition. I've never retouched my own work. I always send it out to our studio retoucher. Um, so it's just, as long as it's under your direction, you can use someone who's extremely skilled at it. As a matter of fact, it's a whole lot cost effective and timely as to do all that too. But that's just my opinion. I am only one juror on a particular panel. However, I don't believe this type of image is going to be successful moving forward in image competition on a PPA district or on a PPA IPC level. Although if you have other images from this session, you certainly can reach out to me and send those to me, and I'd be more than happy to help you possibly see if you've got the capture first and then how to take it on to the final steps. But thank you so much for entering the San Antonio Image Competition, and good luck with the rest of your entries or moving this forward.